Yes. So yesterday we discussed about what is ERP, what is SAP, and what is MDG. So today we are going to discuss about MDG course content and what are the key competitors of MDG. So what is the importance of it to MNC? Okay. So yesterday we seen MDG is going to play a key role to centralize the data across all the landscape. So if we create this data in one system, so this data will be distributed to across all systems. So MDG, simply to understand this MDG, it is a kind of entrance system to create all master data. So this is MDG system. Under this, all systems are connected. Like here it is S4 system, CRM system, SRM system, Ariba. So for all these, like any third party systems, for all these systems, data will be distributed from MDG only. So once any changes or anything is happening in MDG, so this will be distributed. We can get the data either manually or user can create this data, or we can get the data from distributed systems. Distributed systems means, let's say Facebook is there, we published one ad, some customers will come from Facebook, or we published one ad in Twitter, so there also some users will come. YouTube, all social media platforms or their websites, from here also customer can join in our company, like Amazon, how they are going to add our own account, how we are creating our own account in these social platforms. All these platforms also integrated to this. Sorry. So all these platforms are connected to MDG. So this is part of consolidation. This part is part of consolidation. This part is called part of data distribution framework, DRF, data replication framework model. And here it is central governance. So total three parts: consolidation, central governance, data replication framework. Total three concepts are there in MDG. Any questions, any doubts so far? 1 second.
Nothing, Monday.
Okay. Now coming to this is the power of MDG. Now, what is key features? So just now we discussed very high level what are the key features. Let's discuss in detail. So central data governance. So central data governance is happening in the MDG box. So here all approvers and process flow is designed. So here central governance is going to happen. This is one of the key component of MDG. And data quality management. Let's say a user is trying to create another account in another SBI branch. So they will come to know by entering the name and some key information, they will come to know automatically this account is already created in so on so place. So data duplication is easily find out. So how much duplicate data we are entering into the system, similar to a record. We created a record today, okay, with some information. If I try to, before saving this data only, I can come to know what is the duplication ratio. Some 60 to 90% duplicate data. Before you are going to save this record, you will get a information 90% of this data is matching with some other records. What is the record number also you will come to know. So no need to create. If data is similar, most of the data is matching, no need to create this record. This way we can perform data duplication also we can cross verify. So this is also a internal part of capability. No need to write any extra code for this. No need to do any extra configuration for this. Just we need to set the threshold limit. What is the maximum percentage should be avoid create a new record. Let's say if any record is having more than 60% duplicate data, system will throw an error. This record will not be created in system. Less than this value only, we can create the record. So that is the second key advantage of MDG box. And third one is mass processing. Mass processing means whenever we acquire a company B into company A, we do the some mass processings. This mass processing is also part of MDC framework. So nowadays, in the recent release 2022 release, SAP MDG, what they did is they moved this mass processing from MDG to MDC. So nowadays, this mass processing no more in NWBCT code. This is part of Fiori now. So if I want to do any mass processing, that is possible via Fiori only with the latest analytics. What is the duplication data? All the measurements can be performed very easily. Coming to the process analytics, so this process analytics will explain so far how many records are created, what is the quality of the data, what is the duplicate percentage of the data, can we perform cleaning operation or not. If we execute a cleaning operation, any duplicate data will be displayed, and from that we can select and we can delete the duplicate data. So all these are internally integrated into process analytics. Just a little configuration is required in this. Coming to the mass processing also, a standard framework is now available. Just we need to upload an Excel, rest everything will be taken care by the system. So all pre-built logic is available. We can reuse that. So these are all the key features of MDG. So what are the competitors in MDG? So apart from SAP, who are providing this MDG solution in the market, Informatica is one of the provider. They are providing this MDM solution, not MDG solution. So they don't have any governance. Just if we maintain the data on top of it, they are building some analytics and applications 360-degree information. So Windshuttle and all these Relecto, Microsoft, Symergy, all these companies are also providing MDG solution, not accurate to as comparatively with MDG. So SAP MDG. So SAP MDG is highest capabilities comparatively all these tools if we compare one to one. This is also some of the tools are already available in the market. So this might be an interview question. What are the competitors for our MDG solution? Why they are moving from their MDG platform to our MDG platform? In 2022, SAP come up with a individual solution. So this is also an important interview question. So MDG is available in two ways. One is on-premise system. Second one is cloud system. So in the cloud, what happens is we have a platform, SaaS as a platform, software as a service. Software as a service like a Google Cloud, Google Drive, OneDrive, how we are purchasing and immediately we are storing our data. Similarly, MDG is also an independent software solution. You no need to purchase any solution for this. So no need to purchase SD, FI. Only MDG solution you can purchase. That option is available only in the cloud systems. And it is also available in two ways, public cloud and private cloud. So few companies, they can purchase only MDG solution. They no need to go to all other departments like SD, finance. All those things is not required. Just they can implement only MDG solution. If they are using already other softwares, they can move the only to SAP MDG cloud solution. On premise, it is not available. On premise, it is coming with an ERP solution. S4 ERP. So ERPs are two types, ECC and S4. Okay. So ECC also we have MDG solution. In S4 HANA also we have MDG solution. In S4 HANA, we have more features comparatively ECC. S4 HANA is equipped with Fiori solution. So here in MDG, most of our work is coming from NWBC solution. Here the user interface they are using WebInfo technology. Yeah. So this way, here also in the cloud, by default, it is coming with Fiori solution, Fiori UI. So this is a little background of MDG. So who can learn this course? This course can learn by anyone. No prerequisites, nothing. Simply a business solution. It's a very real-time solution. Anyone can understood very easily. So any IT employee, graduate, fresher, any cross platform members also can learn. Any product owners, any developers can learn this course. So now we are going to see the course content. Okay, so let me explain the course content. To learn this course, what are the prerequisites are required? So before going to SAP MDG, let's discuss about the IT architecture, how it will look like. So any software, what it is going to perform, input, processing, output. So these three only we are doing, processing, output. So to perform all these things, we need a database is required to store the data. And to access this, we need a UI. We call it as a user interface. User interface. This user interface can be accessed from our PC, tablet, or mobile phones. So from any device, we can access. Okay. Similarly, for our SAP MDG also, to store our data, whatever data I'm trying to store, that data to be stored in the database tables. So to learn this database, first we should know the concept of data dictionary. So this is one of the major concept. This is applicable for all modules, not only MDG. So first 1 week, we are going to discuss in detail data dictionary. Okay, so this data dictionary is the technical terminology in SAP. It is going to handle how to store the data, view the data. So we are functional consultant. No need to work on query logics and all not required for us. So we can see how data is going to store, where we can view our data. And these two are the basic things. To create any table, how can we do the customization? So this is part of data dictionary. So it will take 7 classes. So this is for all modules. So if you want to learn SD module, MM module, for everyone, this data dictionary is mandatory. So without a data dictionary, any module we are unable to understand. Yesterday we seen the architecture. All modules are built on top of the database. So let me go to the architecture yesterday, architecture of it. Yeah. So if you see here, any application, whatever data I want to store, it is completely built on top of database table. So this is applicable for all types of consultants. It is applicable for all types of consultants. So that's why first we are going with data dictionary up to 7 to 8 classes. So this is mandatory session for everyone. Next, coming to the second point, now we are entering into our MDG specific content. MDG content is going to come into picture. So this MDG, we are going to learn. This MDG is available in two parts. One is MDG and another one is MDC, Master Data Governance. And this Master Data Governance is nothing but what it is going to play a key role. The second half means if I divided this into two halves, so till here, this is part one. This is part two. So this we call it as MDG solution. The above piece, we are going to call it as MDC. So MDC is a add-on for MDG concept. We can implement only MDG solution if business wants to take the advantage of latest capabilities, they can go with MDC solution also. So for this, no need to take any extra license from, if I am not wrong. So we can implement this solution also very easily. So this is two parts, MDG and MDC. MDC means master data consolidation. So this master data consolidation is going to play a key role to migrate the data into our database tables. So what are the parts here? It is consolidation and mass processing. So these two are the key topics, and this can be completely accessed via Fiori only. So we don't have NWBC for this. We can access only Fiori UI. Coming to MDG, so this we can access. In all NWBC also we can access. Fiori also we can access. In SAP GUI also we can access. So for configuration, we can go with SAP GUI. For accessing point of view, we can go with Fiori and NWBC. Here it is mostly for configuration. Configuration from here and accessing from here. NWBC or Fiori. Here also configuration for all these two. Configuration, SAP GUI and accessing Fiori. So these two are the subtopics in MDC. Yeah. Now, coming to MDG specific, first we'll see what is the path of MDG. So to learn this MDG, first we should go with data modeling. So what is data modeling? So how can I store the data? So let's say if I want to prepare a phone, so different components are required. Similarly, to store the data, let's say I want to store a customer data. So to store this customer data, we have different tables are required for this. For customer, they have general data, bank data, address data, and they have tax data. So for all these things, different table is required. Table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. So like this, we are going to combine multiple tables in one group. This group, technically we are calling, from MDG point of view, we are calling it as a data modeling. Data modeling is nothing but collection of tables. What are the tables? Which data in which thing I'm going to store my data? This table, when we are configuring, we call it as a entity. Entity is nothing but a set of data where I am going to store my important data. So these entities, again, it will be bifurcated later on. I will explain as on when required. Okay. So in MDG, we have two parts. MDG is totally segregated into two sections. So only these two sections we are going to use. So first, we are going to store temporary data. Okay, let's say if you visit a bank to create a bank account, to visit, you will visit a bank account and you are going to fill a form. That form is paper-based form. Okay, so once everything is approved, they are moving all the data into database. Okay, so from paper-based to, they will enter the data in a draft mode, right? So they will enter all your data into the system in a draft mode, right? So this is temporary data. Once all approvals are done, then only our data is moving to the permanent memory. This is a temporary memory and this is a permanent memory. So only we are going to handling with these two data. The first data we are going to call it as a staging data. Staging data. And whenever we are moving our data permanently, so this is called as active data. Okay. So active data only we are distributing to all the respective systems. The respective systems is nothing but here S4 system, Ariba system, Ariba system or CRM, SRM, whatever other channels are there. SRM, CRM, other systems. Okay, so we are distributing all our data from permanent memory. So once the data is approved, final approval is done, then only the data will be distributed to across all the systems. This is called as data replication. So in MDG, we have total three things: staging data, active data, data replication. These three are your regular responsibilities in your work. So anything you are going to deal with, that is either part of staging data or active data, this is 90% of your work. 10% of your work is data replication. So generally this data replication, in general, we have separate monitoring team will be there. They will take care of it. As a MDG functional consultant, we are responsible to design the data modeling. And after designing the data modeling, so how the data is going to store in the staging data after certain approvals of the data. After approvals of our data, after final approvals process. So after this process is approved, the data is going to moving into the permanent memory or not. This is called as data modeling. So for now, in the data modeling concept, how to create a data modeling, how to connect all these entities. First, we are going to create entity 1, 2, 3, 4. Later on, we are grouping that. For that group, we are naming it as a one data model. So this concept, we are going to discuss 7 to 8 sessions for this dedicatedly. This is data modeling. Any questions so far, any doubts? If no questions, yeah, we'll proceed further. Next, UI modeling. What is this UI modeling? So far you designed a backend data. So once again, let me go to the architecture. Now, how a screen look like for a user? So here we are going to design many applications, sales, finance, purchase, all these applications, some UI designing is required. So UI. So this UI designing, we call it as a screen designing, is nothing but UI modeling. UI means user interface. user interface. So here, SAP, what they did is we have a guided process is there. The guided process is nothing but FPM, floor plan management. Okay. So, and some ready-made blocks are there. UIBB, user interface building blocks. Building blocks. So this user interface building blocks is help you to use ready-made components. Ready-made components. What are the ready-made components? Some examples are form. So if you want to design a input form, so we have a ready-made form UIBB blocks are there. So I want to design a text editor form. So for text editor, we have separate UIBB. You no need to design the screen from scratch. So already some existing blocks are there. You can use that and you can design your UI screen in one day. So earlier we have to design everything, coding, everything is connected. Now all these UIBBs are provided by SAP. It reducing our effort. We can design any complex application in days. In a weeks of time only we can deliver this to the customer. And search UIBB, search UIBB, and next list UIBB. List means ALV data, kind of Excel sheet look like data. We want to, no need to design everything. Next, browse UIBB. So if I want to browse any file, you no need to design any technical and functional component. All these UIBBs we have ready made. So with this, we can minimize our UI designing blocks. Okay, with this concept is nothing but UI modeling. In UI modeling, we have adaptable UIBB. So what is this adaptation? Adaptation UIBB is nothing but, let's say, country specific screen. Country specific screens. What is this country specific means? Let's say in India, the tax, we call it as a GST. So in some other countries, they call it as a some other name like taxation, social security number. So they have to enter the social security number. Here we are calling it as a price. For any product, we are calling it as a price. Some countries they will call it as a amount. Some countries they call it as a MRP. So depends upon the requirement. For a single field, we can provide three labels. Depends upon the configuration, this label will change accordingly. So like this, after designing the UIBBs, we can apply some dynamic natures to the screen field label fields. So this is not for values, labels we can change, and the label positions also we can change, that we call it as a adaptable UIBBs are also available. So with this, we can bring dynamic nature as per country specific. So first, data modeling, backend data design, then screen design. Combining these two, we have a concept called as feeder classes. Okay, we are not from technical background. So what SAP did is they developed already some interfaces. Interfaces. These interfaces is responsible for connecting UIBBs and data modeling via ABAP programming. So you no need to write, you no need to learn any ABAP programming for this. Okay, technical team will help you. So to connect the data from screen to tables, tables to screen, vice versa. This is vice versa. Okay, we have some default feeder classes are there. We have, depends upon the requirement, we have some standard feeder classes are there. These feeder classes are responsible to exchange the data from UI to data modeling. So this data modeling, we are going to discuss 5 to 6 sessions. Okay, with one case study, 5 to 6 sessions we are going to discuss about this. So here 7 classes, here 6 classes. Any questions so far? If no questions, next we'll move to process modeling. So what is this process modeling? Let's say, take one example of a bank account application. So a user is going to submit their form. Here clerk and the next verification team and manager. Then it is going to store the data in the permanent memory. Till here, the data is going to store in staging data. Let me highlight this in the green color. This is, and here a user is coming to picture. So only. So here a user is going to apply the form. So here clerk, verification officer and manager. Clerk, verification officer and manage. So whenever he submits the data is going to store that first it will go to the staging tables whenever he submit that. So when this is collected, a clerk will see the same data, staging data. This staging data is always connected with reference number. Reference number. Okay, this reference number always start with the $123. So always it is going to start with the dollar. Dollar means a reference number, that is temporary number. Okay, so once clerk will review, again the data is going to store back in the staging tables. When verification officer wants to verify the same data, again it will be picked from staging data. So once he approves it, again it will go back to the staging data. Once manager, whenever he wants to review, it will pick from staging data. Once he approves, the data will be stored to stage active data. So active data is nothing but this is staging data, active data. Once manager approves the data, this data will move to active data. So this process is called as process modeling. So how the process we are trying to design? This entire concept, who is the person is going to review my data? So this person ID will different from branch to branch. If you take any bank as an example, the process is same for any home loan. If you apply in one area or another area, the process is same, but the users are managers, clerks, verification team is going will be different. So the collection of these IDs specific to the branch how these values are going to pick, and the process and the sequence of the data flow. Combiningly, we are calling it as a process modeling. Here, total three concepts are there. First concept is process. Process is nothing but flow of data. So, what is the approach? Here, we are going to design generic approach. Okay, now coming to the second option, flow of data from where to where. Let's say clerk approves, it should go to verification officer. Let's say the type of account is savings account. So verification not required, we can approve. It should go to directly to the manager. Let's say a customer wants to withdraw 10,000, no need to take the manager permission, only clerk approval is enough. So such kind of conditions we are going to apply, those conditions we are trying to put in a dynamic decision table. Dynamic decision table, this we are going to form with some rules. This is called as BRF plus rules framework, business rules framework. The abbreviation of it is business rule framework. So here we can determine dynamically who is going to, in what conditions this flow can break or this flow can continue, how many approvals are required for the same process, how many approvals are required. Let's say you are applying for 1 crore loan. So for 1 crore loan, approval cycles may be increased. So clerk, manager, verification officer, region manager, and branch manager and region manager. So 5 approvals are required. Let's say I am applying for a loan, only 10,000, clerk approval is enough. So that dynamic decisions we are going to maintain in BRF plus framework. So who is going to do this activity? The agent determination process. This we call it as agent determination process. This is also we are going to handle in BRF plus. This flow of process we are going to handling with via workflow. So all these concepts we should aware of it. Okay, for this you no need to learn any workflow for now. Okay, if you want to use as long as SAP standard framework, if you want to use MDG framework, you no need to learn workflow and the BRF in depth. But BRF plus configuration, you should learn how to configure the tables. We need to learn only 20% of BRF concept. That is enough for configuration. We no need to be master in BRF plus. Okay. So coming to the workflow also, we no need to be master in the workflow. Just 20% skill is enough in the workflow. This is a separate topic. 20% of skill is fine from the workflow. 20% of the skill is fine from BRF plus framework. This is a separate course. Workflow is a separate course. And we are going to combine these two topics. These two are the cross topics in our MDG. If we want to master in process modeling, we must know BRF plus, we must know the basics of workflow and BRF. Okay, so this flow designing and everything we are going to configure inside this BRF plus only. So first, we should have a generic approach of what is the data flow. And second one is how to connect the flow. So who is the approver? Once he approves, where it should go, the connectivity between the agents, connectivity between the data, where to where. So this we should know. This matrix we have to design. We call it as a matrix. So by combining these three, we call it as a MDG core topics. To cover this process modeling, we are going to take approximately 10 sessions are required to connect with this process modeling, UI modeling, and data modeling. Collectively, we are going to work. Total 10 classes are required for this. Any questions, any doubts so far?
No, no questions.
No, sir.
Thank you. So next, miscellaneous topics are there. So MDG core topics means we have data modeling. If you know these three, you can attempt an interview very easily. Data modeling, UI modeling, process modeling. And we have one additional topic, DRF, data replication framework. Data replication framework. So what is data replication framework? Once my data is approved, this data to be distributed across all the connected systems with the matrix. So what is this matrix means? Once this data is approved, this active data should flowed to the respective systems. This concept we call it as DRF concept. So this process, we call it as a DRF concept, data replication framework. So in this DRF, we have some concepts is there. If we know this here, some miscellaneous concepts is there. Let me add over here. DRF, data replication framework. Here we are going to use mainly two types. One is IDOC, second one is web services. So these two we are going to discuss. IDOCs we are going to discuss 4 sessions. Web service, 1 session is enough. Okay, so we are going to cover the basics. So this is already a inbuilt framework. No need to do any extra coding, extra efforts are not required. For IDOC, yes, we need to do some extra efforts for this from our end functional point of view. Coming to the web services, nothing much, just we need to enable the standard configurations for this. So for that, that's why one class is fine for web services. For IDOCs, 4 to 5 classes we are going to take. So whenever we are working with DRF, we should we are going to touch some other parallel concepts also along with this. One is key mapping, value mapping. So what is this key mapping and value mapping means? Whenever I am sending the data from my MDG system to the respective destination system, while moving my data to the destination, I have to follow some rules. Okay, let's see one example, very simple example I'll take. Okay, I am the student of college A. I am student of college A. Now, my roll number here it is 501. I am the first student. So due to some transfers, parent transfers or whatever, some technical reasons, I discontinued college A and I joined college B in the middle of year. Okay, here my roll number may be 561. After 60 students, my number is added here. The same master data, but the number is different from here to here, right? So key mapping is nothing but whenever I am transferring my data, whenever I am creating my product, my customer number need not to be same from the source system to the target system. In the source system, the customer number is 123. In the target system is the customer number is 129. Depends upon the internal number range, the customer is going to create over here. This mapping concept is nothing but key mapping. So how IDs are moving from source system to the target system. Sometimes we must maintain same key which is generated by source A. Sometimes the choice of destination system. How we are going to map the primary key of the data, that is nothing but key mapping. Coming to the value mapping, whenever I'm filling my, let's say I'm trying to book a ticket in IRCTC, I'll enter the code. But at the time of printing the ticket, I'll see the description India. This is called as value mapping. What is the code and what is the description? At the time of form fill, we fill M or F or O, male, female, others. Whenever I'm trying to fill the gender option, male, female, or others, I'll select only M. M means male, F means female, O means others. But at the time of form print, I'll see a in detailed description, male, female, like that. Similarly, whenever I'm sending the data from source system to the target system, what is the mapping for this? Sometimes I need to do the hard coding for this. Okay, so how we are going to mapping this? Key mapping and value mapping are part of the concepts of DRF along with IDOC, web services, key mapping, value mapping. So these concepts we are going to cover. Approximately 7 sessions are required to combine all these things. So this is the key course coverage of our MDG. So till here, we discussed about only MDG. So this is the main core topics of MDG. If we completed these topics, we can attend interview. Okay. Any questions, any doubts so far? Okay. Next add-on topic is there, MDC. So MDC is, we have two main topics, consolidation and mass processing. So we have mass processing in MDG also, but we will see that mass processing in MDC. So consolidation means combining the data from multiple source of systems. So we don't have the connectivity of the external systems. I'll show you this consolidation from an Excel sheet for now. Okay, it is same as, so just integration is external effort is required that will be taken care by basis team. And coming to the mass processing, how we are updating is value for all existing records. Let's say for India, all phone numbers should be preceded with a +91. So this mass update I want to perform for all Indian customers. For all USA customers, I want to perform +1. Otherwise, WhatsApp unable to send a message. Okay, so this is one of the requirement from the customer. They want to send a automated SMS. Some customers, they may not maintain +91. Some customers, they maintain +91. Okay, now this is a kind of requirement. This is a real-time requirement. Please add +91 for all Indian customers wherever the mobile number is filled. Okay, so this is how we are going to achieve this with the mass processing in 1 minute. How we are going to achieve this requirement. I'll cover this topic. For MDC, we are going to take 2 to 3 sessions is fine. Okay, and Fiori also we can cover all these things in 3 to maximum in 3 hours we can cover this MDC topic also. So collectively, we are going to discuss 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours is enough, are sufficient to cover this MDG and MDC topic. Okay, so this is the course coverage we are going to discuss from next session onwards. Any questions, any doubts so far? I think.
No questions, Surendra Garu.
Yeah, we have detailed course coverage. Okay, so what are the topics we are going to discuss in detail? So I have a PDF over here. Okay, you can go through this PDF also. This is the PDF. We have in detail course coverage. Very minute level we covered over here also. What is the day 1, day 2 and all these things are we covered. So this is the key topics we are going to discuss. Okay, so from next session onwards, we'll jump into there and we'll start with the data dictionary. Clear?
Yes.
Yep. Any questions, any doubts before we end today's session?
No, Surendra.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you next week. Bye.